How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? Be honest. How many mornings have you woken up with big plans only to let the day slip away? You say you want success, but when it's time to do the work, suddenly there's always an excuse. I'm tired. I'll do it later. It's just one day. It won't matter. But it does matter. Every excuse is a lie you tell yourself, a lie that keeps you trapped exactly where you are. Success isn't about talent. It's not about luck. It's about one thing: discipline. And let's be real, most people don't have it. They think discipline is something you feel. They wait for motivation, thinking one day they'll magically get in the zone. But let me tell you something. Discipline is not a feeling, it's a choice. A daily, relentless choice to do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Right now, you have two options: keep making excuses or make a change. The truth might be hard to hear, but it's exactly what you need. Because today, I'm going to show you how to stop being a slave to your feelings and start controlling your actions. No more waiting, no more half efforts. From this moment forward, discipline is who you are. How many times have you convinced yourself that tomorrow is when things will change? You tell yourself, next Monday I'll start waking up early. Next month I'll finally take my goals seriously. But what happens? Next Monday comes and goes. Next month shows up and nothing is different. Excuses are well-dressed lies. They sound logical, they feel justified, but they are nothing more than chains keeping you locked in place. Every time you tell yourself, I'm too tired, I don't have time, I'll do it later, you are casting a vote for failure. Let's be real. You don't lack time. You don't lack ability, you lack discipline. The same 24 hours that built champions, CEOs, and elite athletes are the same 24 hours you have. The only difference? They do the work, no matter what. You need to start recognizing your own lies. Every excuse you make is stealing from your future. You can either keep feeding yourself comforting lies, or you can start telling yourself the truth. The only way forward is to stop waiting and start doing. Most people have it all wrong. They think discipline is something you feel, that one day they'll wake up and suddenly want to eat healthy, want to work out, want to chase their goals. They wait for motivation like it's some magical force that will save them. But motivation is a liar. It comes and goes. One day it's there, the next day it's gone. If you rely on it, you will fail. Because discipline is not about feelings, it's a choice you make every single day, no matter how you feel. Think of discipline like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The less you use it, the weaker it becomes. And just like a muscle, training it is painful at first. It burns, it's uncomfortable, but if you push through, eventually it becomes second nature. You don't have to feel like it, you just have to do it. Successful people don't wake up every day feeling motivated. They wake up and get to work anyway. That's the difference between winning and losing. This is the moment where everything changes. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Because now you know the truth. You know that excuses are nothing more than self-sabotage. You know that discipline isn't about waiting for motivation. It's about taking action regardless of how you feel. And most importantly, you know that every single choice you make is shaping your future. So what are you going to do with this knowledge? Are you going to let it inspire you for 5 minutes only to go back to your old habits? Or are you going to make the decision right here, right now to become the most disciplined version of yourself? No more waiting, no more talking, no more hoping that one day things will change. From this moment forward, discipline is your identity. It's who you are, because the truth is, nobody is coming to save you. Nobody is going to do the work for you. If you want to change, it starts with you, and it starts now. Do you really think successful people wake up feeling like it every single day? Do you believe that they just feel motivated and inspired all the time? Let me tell you something, that's a lie. The truth is, success doesn't come from motivation. It doesn't come from feeling inspired or pumped up. It comes from discipline. You see, the difference between those who succeed and those who fail isn't talent, luck, or opportunity, it's discipline. Successful people wake up, get to work, and do what needs to be done, whether they feel like it or not. They don't wait for the perfect moment. They don't wait for motivation to hit, they act. Discipline is the separating factor. Without it, you are just spinning your wheels, going nowhere fast. If you are waiting to feel like doing the work, you will never make progress. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline, that's what keeps you going when everything else fails. So ask yourself, how serious are you about your goals? Are you really committed to success? If you want it, you have to choose discipline every single day. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you will start moving toward your goals. Every time you make an excuse, you tighten the chains that are holding you back. Think about it. Excuses are a form of self-sabotage. They feel comfortable in the moment, but over time they add up and they keep you stuck. You say things like, "I'm too tired today, I'll start next week," or "I don't have time right now." But those excuses don't make you feel better. They just delay your progress. They delay your success. Every time you choose comfort over action, you choose to stay stuck. You give yourself permission to stay exactly where you are. But let me tell you something, comfort is your enemy. The more comfortable you get with making excuses, the harder it will be to break free. And if you keep letting excuses control you, you will find yourself 5, 10, maybe 20 years from now, wondering why you're still in the same place. No progress, no growth, just stuck. If you want to break free from the chains of excuses, you need to make a decision. The decision to act, even when it's uncomfortable, that's how you gain freedom. Most people are waiting for motivation to kick in. They're waiting for the perfect moment, waiting until they feel ready. But here's the brutal truth. Motivation is a myth. If you wait for motivation, you'll be waiting forever. Successful people don't wait, they act. Motivation follows action. You don't have to feel ready. You don't have to wait for everything to line up perfectly. The only thing you need is the willingness to take the first step, even when you feel uncertain. Here's the thing, we all have those moments when we don't feel like doing the work. We all face resistance, doubt, and fear, but what separates those who succeed from those who fail is what they do in those moments. If you wait until you're motivated, you will never get anything done. Motivation doesn't magically appear. It's created by the actions you take. The more you act, the more motivated you'll feel. The less you act, the less motivated you'll become. It's a cycle, and it's up to you to decide which cycle you're going to feed. Stop waiting. Stop hoping. Discipline is the key to breaking free from the myth of motivation. Start moving. The motivation will follow. Every time you make an excuse, you lose time. You lose the opportunity to make progress, and you lose your future. Think about it. How many days have you wasted? How many opportunities have you let slip by because you didn't take action? Every excuse you make today is a future opportunity lost. You see, time doesn't wait for anyone. Every day that passes is one you'll never get back. So every time you choose comfort over discipline, you are choosing to steal from your future self. And let me tell you something, your future self will never thank you for that. Think about where you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What does your future look like? Will it be filled with regrets and what ifs? Or will it be filled with accomplishments and growth? The only way to shape that future is by taking action now. No more excuses, no more delays, no more "I'll do it tomorrow." Every day you waste today is a day that you can never get back. So ask yourself, what are you willing to do today to build the future you want? Stop stealing from your future. Start building it today. Discipline is not a task on your to-do list. It's not something you do when you feel like it. It's who you are. You have to stop seeing discipline as a temporary effort, something you can pick up when it's convenient. It's a permanent part of your identity. When you choose discipline, you're not just choosing to take action today or tomorrow. You're choosing to be the kind of person who follows through no matter what. It's not about what you do now, and then it's about who you are every single day. Ask yourself, what kind of person do you want to be? Do you want to be someone who acts with purpose, who follows through, who never backs down from a challenge? Or do you want to be someone who waits for motivation, who makes excuses, who backs out when it gets tough? Discipline is a habit, and just like any habit, it starts with the smallest decision to be the person who shows up every time. Once you make that choice, it becomes easier. It becomes your nature. So stop thinking of discipline as something you can take or leave. Make it a part of who you are every single day. Your mind is the battlefield where all your excuses are born. Every day you're faced with a choice. Will you let excuses win, or will you fight back with discipline? The war against excuses is real, and it's happening right now in your mind. You don't have to see excuses as your enemy, though, because they are. If you don't fight against them, they will control you. They will keep you stuck. They will rob you of your future. But if you can learn to challenge every excuse, question every reason why you can't do something, then you will start to build a mindset that is unstoppable. Winning this battle doesn't require perfection. It requires consistency. Each time you reject an excuse, you win. Each time you push through discomfort and take action, you strengthen your discipline muscle. The next time your mind tries to convince you that you can't do something, that you're not ready, or that it's just too hard, fight back. Tell yourself, I am stronger than this. I will not be controlled by excuses, because when you take control of your mind, you take control of your life. Your comfort zone feels safe, doesn't it? It's where everything is easy, predictable, and familiar. But let me tell you something. Your comfort zone is a prison. It's a cage that keeps you from growing, from achieving, from becoming the person you're meant to be. And here's the catch. You are the one holding the key. The reason people stay stuck in their comfort zones is simple. Fear. Fear of failure. Fear of discomfort. Fear of the unknown. But the truth is, those fears are just illusions. You only grow by stepping out of your comfort zone. It's the only way to unlock your full potential. Imagine being free from fear. Imagine waking up every day knowing that discomfort is a sign of growth, not something to avoid. The moment you choose to break free from your comfort zone is the moment you start to unlock the door to your future success. Here's what you need to understand. Comfort zones are the enemy of progress. They keep you in the same place, doing the same things over and over. But you have the power to break free. All it takes is one decision. Today, I choose discomfort. Don't let your comfort zone control your life. Step outside, break free, and watch what happens when you start living without limits. What if, instead of making excuses, you started making progress? Think about that for a second. What if every time you felt the urge to justify why you couldn't do something, you decided to take action instead? The truth is, progress doesn't come from perfect conditions. It doesn't come from waiting for the right time or when everything is lined up. Progress comes from doing. It comes from putting in the work, even when it's hard, even when it's uncomfortable, even when you don't feel like it. So what if you stopped waiting? What if you stopped asking for permission from your feelings? What if you just made progress? Day by day, little by little. The results would surprise you. Discipline compounds. The more you act, the easier it becomes to take action. And the more you take action, the more progress you make. This is your wake-up call. Stop making excuses. Start making progress. Every step forward is one step closer to your goal, and every time you act, you're building the life you want. It's all within your control. No more excuses. Just progress. Most people wait for the big moment. They wait for a dramatic change, the day when everything will magically fall into place. But here's the truth. Discipline isn't built in the big moments. It's built in the small, everyday choices. Think about it. When you make the decision to show up, to work when you don't feel like it, to stick to the plan even when no one is watching, that's when discipline is built. It's not about doing something huge once in a while. It's about doing something small every single day. Let me ask you this. How many days have you let slip by, waiting for that perfect moment to act? How many times have you put things off because you didn't feel like it? Those small moments matter. Every time you decide to skip the gym or ignore your goals because you're tired, you're reinforcing weakness. It's the small moments that define your future. Each decision you make today stacks up, whether it's a small win or a small loss, and those small wins, compounded over time, become an unbreakable force. The key to success isn't waiting for the big moments, it's building discipline in the small, everyday choices. A routine is only effective if it's non-negotiable. You need to design a set of small actions, small, simple tasks that you commit to doing no matter what. These are the daily habits that build massive discipline over time. The truth is, many people struggle because their routine isn't set in stone. They allow distractions, feelings, and external factors to dictate whether or not they stick to their plans. But a non-negotiable routine is different. You set it and you follow through every single day. It doesn't have to be complicated. Start with something simple like getting up at the same time every morning or taking 5 minutes each day to work toward your goals. The key is to keep it small enough that it feels effortless, but powerful enough that it shifts your mindset. This isn't about being perfect. It's about consistency. The more you show up and commit to these small actions, the stronger your discipline will become. You'll build momentum, and over time, these small actions will transform into massive results. You will realize that your discipline isn't a one-time effort, it's a daily commitment, and you never back down from it. Have you ever had a moment when you didn't feel like doing something? We all have those days. But what if I told you that you can break through resistance by simply committing to 5 minutes? Here's the 5-minute rule. When you don't feel like doing something, commit to it for just 5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's it. No pressure to do more. Why does this work? Because resistance isn't as strong once you start. Once you push past the initial hesitation and take the first step, you've already won. The hardest part is getting started. Once you're 5 minutes in, you'll find that it's easier to keep going. You've broken the barrier and now you're in motion. This trick works for anything, from writing that report you've been avoiding to hitting the gym when you'd rather stay in bed. By committing to 5 minutes, you start building the momentum that leads to more. It's the small, easy step that triggers the larger, unstoppable action. You don't need to wait for motivation. You don't need to feel ready. The 5-minute rule makes it easy to start, and once you do, the rest will follow. If you want to build unbreakable discipline, you need to restructure your environment. You need to make it impossible to fall back into weakness. Your environment, your surroundings, your habits, your people plays a huge role in determining whether or not you stay disciplined. Start by eliminating distractions. What are the things that take you off course? Social media, Netflix, a messy workspace, whatever it is, remove it. If you're serious about building discipline, your environment needs to support it. You also need accountability. Find someone who will hold you to your word, whether it's a friend, a coach, or a mentor. When someone is watching, you perform better. If you know that someone will check in on you, you're more likely to stick to your commitment. Lastly, set up triggers for success. This means creating systems that remind you to stay on track. For example, set your workout clothes out the night before, or use apps that block distractions during work hours. By setting up these systems, you make it impossible to fall back into weakness. Your environment should make it easier to stay disciplined, not harder. Surround yourself with tools, people, and habits that reinforce your commitment to success. When you do this, discipline becomes automatic. Let me say it clearly, your excuses are not special. They aren't unique. You are not the only one facing challenges, delays, or setbacks. What you are doing is choosing comfort over responsibility. Excuses are nothing more than convenient lies. They give you an easy way out. You tell yourself things like, I don't have time, or I'm too tired. But in reality, these excuses are a way for you to avoid confronting the truth. Truths about your potential, your goals, and your responsibilities. Excuses make life easier in the short term, but in the long run, they keep you from achieving what you're capable of. You're choosing to stay stuck, to stay comfortable, because it's easier than facing the work. But here's the reality. If you don't take responsibility for your actions, no one else will. So stop telling yourself your excuses are valid. Stop telling yourself that your situation is different. The truth is, everyone faces challenges. The difference is in how you choose to respond to them. You have the power to either make excuses or make progress. It's time to stop negotiating with your weaknesses and start taking responsibility for your actions. Every time you make an excuse, you're chaining yourself to failure. Think about it. Excuses don't just hold you back, they keep you trapped in a cycle of weakness. Imagine yourself in a courtroom. You're standing there defending your excuses, pleading for mercy. Every excuse you make is like defending your failure. Every time you justify why you couldn't follow through, you're giving yourself permission to stay stuck. But here's the kicker. You're the one putting yourself in the chains. No one else is doing this to you. Every excuse is a decision to keep living in the same cycle. But if you want to break free, you need to stop defending your weaknesses and start fighting for your future. Break the chains, break the habit of making excuses. It's time to stop defending your own failure and start taking real action. Only then will you free yourself from the prison of inaction. There is no room for negotiation with your goals. You don't get to decide whether or not you feel like it. Successful people don't make deals with their feelings. They execute regardless. It's time to adopt the no negotiation rule. This rule is simple. When it comes to your goals, there are no excuses, no compromises, no exceptions. If you set a goal, you follow through, period. This might sound harsh, but let me ask you, when has negotiating with your feelings ever gotten you anywhere? When has I don't feel like it ever led to success? The answer is never. Your feelings don't dictate your success, your actions do. If you want to be successful, you need to stop negotiating with yourself. You don't need to feel like it to do it. You do it because it's the right thing to do, because you made a commitment to yourself. Adopt the no negotiation rule today. Don't let your feelings dictate your actions. You set the standard, you make the rules, and from now on, there are no excuses. What kind of person would you be if you never broke a promise to yourself? Think about it. What if you never let yourself down again? What if you always did what you said you were going to do, no matter how you felt? You would be unstoppable. You would have the confidence that comes from knowing you keep your word. You would have the power to create your own destiny because you would follow through on every commitment you make. Imagine the person you could become if you never backed down from your commitments. What would your life look like? What would you accomplish? The only thing standing between you and that future is your willingness to keep the promises you make to yourself. It's time to stop breaking promises to yourself. It's time to become the person who does what they say they will do every single time. Discipline works just like compound interest. Every small action you take today compounds and builds over time. Just like putting money in a savings account, each little deposit grows over time and leads to bigger rewards. It's the same with discipline. Every choice to take action, no matter how small, builds momentum. And that momentum turns into bigger results, bigger wins, and eventually, a life that others only dream of. The key is consistency. It's about showing up, doing the work, and making small improvements every day. The more you do this, the more your discipline compounds. So don't focus on the end result. Focus on making small, disciplined choices every day. Over time, you'll look back and see how far you've come and how much you've grown. Your future self is watching you right now, and they're begging you to take control. They're begging you to stop wasting time, to stop making excuses, to stop delaying your dreams. Every time you choose discipline today, you're building a better future for yourself. Every time you take action, you're shaping the life you want. Your future self is counting on you. Imagine them. What does your future self look like? What do they want for you? They want you to act now. They want you to stop delaying and start building the life you deserve. Every day you wait, you're robbing your future self of the success and happiness they're begging for. It's time to stop stealing from your future and start taking control of your life today. This is it, your defining moment. What you do now will determine who you become. Stop waiting for the right time. There is no perfect time. Stop waiting for things to align or for motivation to hit. The time is now. You've been given everything you need to succeed. You've been given the power of choice, the strength to take action, and the ability to build unbreakable discipline. So why wait? Why delay? This moment is the only one you can control. And every second you hesitate, every moment you procrastinate is a moment you'll never get back. The longer you wait, the further you push your dreams into the future. Right here, right now is your moment to decide. Decide that you're done making excuses. Decide that you are ready to step up, show up, and take action. This is your time. No more delays. No more waiting. From this moment forward, you move with purpose and unstoppable discipline. On the other side of discipline is the life you want. The person you've always wanted to be, the success you've always dreamed of, the achievements you've been working for, they're waiting for you. But here's the catch. You have to cross the line. You have to commit to discipline and refuse to negotiate with excuses. The version of you who has everything you want is waiting on the other side. Will you cross that line, or will you stay stuck where you are, waiting for things to change on their own? The truth is, you can't get to where you want to go without discipline. There is no shortcut. But the good news, every step you take toward discipline takes you closer to your goals. Every small act of commitment leads to the person you've always wanted to become. So ask yourself, are you ready to cross the line? Are you ready to stop waiting and start acting? Your future is on the other side of discipline, and it's time to claim it. Stop waiting for the stars to align. Stop waiting for the perfect opportunity. The truth is, there is no perfect time. There will never be a moment when everything is perfect and easy. The only thing you have is now. If you want to build a life of discipline, you have to start now. You have to take the leap even when you're scared, uncertain, or uncomfortable. Because here's the thing, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes. And if you keep waiting for the right time, you'll be stuck in the same place a year from now, still wondering why things haven't changed. But if you start now, if you take that first step, even if it's small, everything will begin to shift. Momentum will start to build, and before you know it, you'll look back and wonder why you ever hesitated. The time is now. You will never feel completely ready. You will never have all the answers, but you don't need to. You need to start. Commit to discipline. Take the leap and never look back. This is your moment. Your time is now. Let's make it count.